Hello, this is Tony and Michael with questions and answers from the Soul Group Insights. And we have a question here from Laila Milnzak. Thank you, Laila. You've sent in a lot of questions, so we've just picked one out that we thought was a great question and appropriate. And Laila starts, the spaces between states that everything that exists outside of us is a reflection of what is going on within us. If that is the case, does that include every person, animal and situation? Can we make our exterior conditions better by raising our vibration? And then you've put brackets, meditating, etc. Michael recently stated that the field might try some form of attack against us because we are sending out light and angelic intent. Can raising our vibration protect us from that? Would the field in turn try to harm our loved ones? I always wonder as to how much protection is required, and is it all based on our beliefs? I heard someone say that if they do not believe something to be true, then it will not harm them. If we are to see the field as a toothless tiger, is that enough to make it back down? Is humour our best weapon?
Good question, Laila. My spiritual teacher had, from a physical point of view, an awful lot wrong with her. At one point in her life, she had a built-up shoe on one leg because one leg was shorter than the other. She looked after her husband for 4 years while she was clinically blind and came down in the middle of the night and turned him in his bed at regular intervals. Various other very serious, from a physical point of view, illnesses wrong with her. But her philosophy, spiritual philosophy of life was, no, everything's fine. Everything's perfect. There's only God. Anything else is a lie.
Wow.
And she used that as a powerful means of negotiating her life. And she astounded doctors and consultants and nurses time after time because her ailments should have progressed at a known rate, at an established rate. They didn't. Sometimes they disappeared altogether, as in the case of her built-up shoe. After many years, both her legs were the same length because she concentrated on the fact that God didn't make funny legs, as she would call it. God made perfect legs, and that's what she had. And she transformed that belief into a physical reality. In other circumstances, the quite serious diseases, as she got older and had less energy to combat the world, progressed much more slowly than they should have done, and astounded those who were treating her. So, yeah, you were saying if we sort of counter the field by saying that's not so, and I don't accept that, yes, that's a very powerful thing to do. We can only, we're only influenced by the field to the extent that we accept that we're influenced by the field. A knowledge that there is a field of human consciousness that is set to negative at the moment is part of our defense. You asked if raising your vibrations protects you against the fear. Well, yes, it does, because as you raise your vibrations, the things that bothered you formerly don't bother you anymore. So that the challenges that you saw as challenges before you raise your vibrations fall away because you no longer acknowledge them or believe in them. You have a completely different perspective. And so the effects of the field just glance off you. They have no effect on you because you do not believe in their power. Your belief in something does magnify it. So in believing in the light, in believing in the power of the divine within, in believing in divine guidance, in believing that the light is more powerful than the darkness, then you magnify those beliefs and you become stronger in your resistance of the effects of the field, but also stronger in your ability to transform that field, because your light becomes more and more powerful, far more powerful than the field. As PG famously said, because we're always quoting this, one person who works for the light is equal to 1,000 who do not, who are working for the darkness. More powerful. More powerful than 1,000 souls. You are more powerful than 1,000 souls if you're working for the light, if you invest in the light, if you believe in the light, if you trust in the light. And so, yes, the light is your protection. I'm not quite sure what you mean by do we affect every, does our inner world affect every person, every animal, every aspect of life? I think Laila says something like that. Well, yes, it does. We are linked. We are linked beings. What I do today affects you. It might only affect you to the tiniest degree, but it affects you because we're linked. We're part of each other. And so if we invest, as many are doing at the moment, in chaos, in corruption, in power seeking, in the ego, then those things that are attracting similar vibrations, powerful vibrations from the field, affect every other soul on earth to a degree. But similarly, if you are investing in light and love and harmony and compassion and decency and honesty, then those are the things that you are projecting outwards to every other soul, to every other animal, to every other life, and to the planet itself. So you become extremely powerful. Does the field try and attack? Yes, but it attacks everyone every day. It's just that you become aware of it. It's attacking everyone right now because it is holding them in a mistaken belief in the status quo, in a mistaken belief in how things are in society and how things are across our world.
So if society changed, the field would change.
Yes, so we are directing light at society. We're also directing light into the field and saying, Joseph has said, he said it in a lecture, didn't he, that we gave, a trance lecture here at the sanctuary. He said, what do you do about the field? Silly field. Laugh it off, he said.
Yeah.
Laugh it off, which brings us to humour. And humour is important. When you laugh at something, at the absurdity of this world, at the absurdity of people's beliefs and people's actions, then the accumulated negative vibrations that are perhaps in your aura or are around you are shattered. Laughter shatters those shards, those crystalline shards that accumulate because of our beliefs in the antics of society, because of our beliefs in negativity, because of our acceptance of those things. When we laugh, we shatter them, we get rid of them, we break them.
So there's a big argument for lightening up.
Yes,
Lightening up.
lightening up. Absolutely, Tony. Yeah. Putting light into a situation, making light of a situation, seeing the light in a situation brings light into that situation. So yes, we must regularly lighten up. We must see the absurdities that are around us as absurdities, because if we see them as serious, we are strengthening their gravity. Their gravitas, you know. We need to say, that's nonsense. I have nothing to do with that.
That's absolutely it. And I was going to say then, Michael, tell us a joke, but it's not the...
Not very good at telling jokes.
No, and he wouldn't be right. But there's one thing I should say, Laila, as well, is that Michael and I are very different. I've been a searcher, like I suspect you're a searcher. I suspect you really read an awful lot and go into it, and I've done that as well. Michael has deliberately kept away from all spiritual works, written works, in order that he could maintain his neutrality on the Joseph communication that comes through him. So I do understand where you're coming from, Laila. I think that I've been there as well, trying to understand the detail. But I do hope we've helped you here today. And thank you so much for your questions. And thank you so much for your loyalty on Fridays, on Tuesdays, on being a real Joseph supporter. Thank you so much, Laila.
Thank you so much, Laila.
God bless.
Take care. God bless.